Daiwana Wanga, everybody. Richie from Wampa Diaries here. Wanted to make a video, first of all, for anybody who has followed Wampa Diaries podcast in the past. You know that me and Nick were doing our podcast kind of sporadically here and there, mostly at the times when new material was coming out. And when big news was coming out was when we were mainly putting out our podcast. And just recently, at the end of 2024, we took it very, very briefly to YouTube. And then the Star Wars news kind of dried up a little bit, and that's kind of what normally happens and what's been happening lately in the Star Wars world is that we're just hearing less and less news, and there's less and less things happening, especially as Lucasfilm is supposedly getting a lot more conscious about the media that they're going to be producing, probably with good reason. So, it got really hard for Nick and I to collaborate on just new ideas and cover what little news was out there. And frankly, we both love Star Wars, and it gets really old talking about how the news that you're hearing isn't what the news that you want to hear, or um, topics get revisited a lot of times when it's just two people having a conversation. Things get revisited. So anyone who was listening for any point of time, they probably know my take on a lot of Star Wars stuff, and they know Nick's take on a lot of Star Wars stuff. And you really can't avoid that with that platform. And I think that's why a lot of the Star Wars podcasts out there are so inconsistent, or they don't run very long, is because it just becomes hard to cover just news. 2015 to 2018, 2019, I mean, we were getting news constantly. There was always a new, the sequels were getting made. There was a new book, a new comic coming out. There was always something, and there's always something to talk about. And we weren't doing that back then. And as time goes on, and you know the news becomes more sparse, and the material is kind of all over the place, in terms of, at one point we're covering Kenobi between episodes 3 and 4, and then the next, now we're covering this that happened after episode 7. It just kind of becomes disjointed, and I felt like the conversations were becoming disjointed. And you know all in all, what it's coming down to is Wampa Diaries is going to get taken in a different direction. So, we're not going to be doing the podcast regularly anymore. I'm not saying that we won't do it. I'm not saying that you won't see Nick pop in here, from time to time. I don't think we can get rid of Nick that easily. But moving forward, it's going to be, myself creating content for YouTube. And it's going to be focused around, media that is coming out, any news that is coming out. And it's going to be more so, as we hear things. And I'm going to try to put stuff out pretty frequently, even if they're shorter videos, to just kind of cover what's happening and bring the news to the forefront, especially with the many different voices that are out there, um, especially on YouTube. There's a lot of fake news out there, around Star Wars, and I enjoy talking about it, and I'm gonna kind of keep bringing it to the forefront for you guys. I'm also gonna cover a lot of stuff around collecting, figure reviews, things like that. So I'll be doing news, show reviews, figure reviews, merch reviews, things like that. Um, so be on the lookout here at Wampa Diaries for me putting that stuff out, and I'm sure Nick will jump in on certain topics and certain things. We'll see him hanging out and stuff. But our normal platform is going to change, and we're kind of doing a rebrand of Wampa Diaries, and it's a good thing. Um, So I wanted to kind of get that out there at the beginning of this video, since this is going to be the start of that new platform. So enough of all that. What we're here to talk about today is that I just got back from Tokyo, just got back from Star Wars Celebration, and in typical Star Wars fan form, I'm going to be doing a Celebration haul video. So I wanted to kind of just show off like some of the stuff that I brought back from Tokyo and from Celebration that's Star Wars related. I'm not going to show you my chopsticks and all sorts of silly stuff that I brought back. That's just to remind me of my time in Tokyo. But I want to show you Star Wars stuff, because I did pick up a lot of Star Wars stuff that was outside the convention as well. You know, with Japan being such a culture that revolves around collecting and fandom of all sorts, you know, I was able to find a lot of Star Wars stuff and a lot of stuff I didn't get, but there are certain things I did get that, you know, I thought were cool. So I kind of want to run through that stuff and tell you some stories of stuff I saw as I was getting it, and kind of just take it from there. So I'm going to start with some of the smaller stuff that I got outside the convention, and I'm going to make my way up to some of the bigger stuff and more exciting stuff that I got at Celebration. So we're just going to dive right in. So one of the first thing off the bat here, now Tokyo is a city that is connected by a huge railway system, huge rail system. Get everywhere by train. And when I went to go pick up my tickets, because we had to do a will call for tickets, they didn't send out tickets this year, and I'll talk about some of the experiences of Celebration in another video that's coming up. But when I went to go pick up my tickets, in the train station, there was a little shop right before you exited the train station, and they had Star Wars Celebration branded all over it, and they had some fun stuff there that I wanted to pick up. So one of these things that I got was this cool little cookie tin, just an aluminum Star Wars cookie tin that's got all of the, try to show it there without a glare, all of the posters, original movie posters, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. Not worried about those ones. But it does come with cookies on the inside of it. Just a cool little thing. I wanted the tin. I don't really care about the cookies, but I wanted the tin. So I picked that up. Sitting right next to it, that's the least exciting thing on this list. Sitting right next to it, I could not pass this up, were Grogu's little blue cookies. His little blue macaroons. So, again, I don't even eat macaroons. This isn't open yet, so I'm not going to open it because I don't eat these. But I got it for the box. Like, how do you walk by this box? And yeah, like you could see the somewhat, I would say that's a Japanese influenced artwork there. He's looking a little cuter than normal in typical Japanese fashion, but a little pack of Grogu blue macaroons. So that was cool to see in the train station in the shop that they were totally for having Celebration in their city. First time since 2007, I think, was the last Celebration in Tokyo. Other stuff I got here. Now, I got some of these in the Kotobukiya store in Akihabara, and I got others at Robot, which is located, I believe, in... There's a mall out there, Nakano Broadway. There's a mall out there that has a bunch of stores on the second floor with a lot of collectibles from the 90s. I mean, I saw Spider-Man, I saw Ninja Turtles, I saw Power Rangers, like you name it. If there's a fandom for it, there was a store with figures and all sorts of stuff. And there was a lot of cool Star Wars stuff from the 90s and stuff. I didn't pick any of that up, but I did pick up some interesting stuff because it was kind of Japanese inspired. So I haven't taken these out of the package yet, to be truthful. I don't know if these are even going to make it onto my wall because I have a lot of stuff that has to go up, and but I didn't want to show them off. So these are kind of banners, kind of these Japanese inspired long banners, right? And I'm just gonna show you like the picture of what it looks like there. So here you got 3PO and R2 with like some fireworks and stuff like that. These are cloth banners, you know, they're real long, and they go up on the wall. So I had R2 and 3PO, and then I've got Vader. So what I'll do is when I do get these up eventually, I'll kind of do a collection tour and show you what they look like. But they are really cool. Like they were cool enough that I couldn't walk away from them on display. And they're also like 1,100 yen, which is like $6 or something like that. So I couldn't pass it up. Here's a Kotobukiya one, black and one I got from Kotobukiya. Black and white Yoda lunging through the air with his lightsaber out. This was the first one I really liked. Super Japanese inspired. It's got R2 and Queen Amidala kind of looking down at him with Anakin in the back. Very Japanese inspired there. Picked that up, and then I got a Maul one. So super cool. I didn't want to take them out of the package. It'd be really hard to show you outside the package, but you get an idea. And when I put them up, I will show them off. And then I got, you can't even see it, same thing, but bigger with Vader. Not going to bother showing that off. Then I was walking around Shinjuku, which has an awesome Disney store. Every Disney store in Tokyo was awesome and multiple levels, and had, well, we don't even have stuff in Disney stores here anymore because we don't really have Disney stores here, I don't think, anymore. But awesome Disney stores, and the one in Shinjuku had a huge Star Wars section that I could not just walk away from. So some pretty cool, just got some like shirts and stuff there. But could not walk away from the 20-year anniversary Revenge of the Sith shirt. They all also have, where is it? May the 4th, 2025 on the sleeve, which was awesome. May the 4th be with you, 2025. Couldn't walk away from that. So awesome. Then I got May the 4th be with you. Kind of a somewhat Japanese art style. Luke fighting Vader and Empire Strikes Back. May the 4th be with you, 2025. Might wear this on May the 4th. And then this is just kind of a basic. I don't know why. I probably in hindsight this one is just a basic Vader shirt with some Arabesh there. Probably didn't need this one, but that's what happens when you get all hyped up about Star Wars stuff. And then this one I got in Toy Sapiens, which is in I believe Toy Sapiens is in Shibuya actually. So Star Wars on the front and Clone Troopers Commander Clone Army on the back. So awesome. Then as well at the Disney store, since we don't get plastic bags in New Jersey because they're so terrible, I got some stuff to go shopping with. So I got my 20-year Revenge of the Sith tote. This got hauled around with me at Celebration, where this is where I put a lot of my merch and stuff that I was buying at Celebration. Couldn't walk away from that one. And then I got that Vader design that I had on the shirt. Thought that was pretty cool. Other stuff from outside the convention. These cool signs. Now these are cool. These came from the Disney store. These are canvas. So these are canvas. I don't have them out of the wrapper yet, but you guys can see, should be able to see well enough. So you got Naboo here, right? It's got all the locations. So you have Naboo. You've got Tatooine. And they're all on canvas. Like it's all actual, material under here. It's all on a canvas with a wood wood backing. So you got Tatooine here. Then you got Hoth. Oh, that was cool. I have my brother's Naboo when he requested a Naboo canvas, so I've got that off to the side for him. And then I got Endor, so I'll put these 4 up in here. Thought those are pretty cool. We're getting to the good stuff. Gotta do a build up, a little bit of a build up here. From the Kotobukiya store, another little Japanese kind of inspired. Just kind of a cool, like, it's just like a little, this will go in like my kitchen probably. Just a cool little, like, almost dropped it and shattered it everywhere. Just like a little cartoon. Star Wars, you got Vader, you got some troopers. You got the Falcon with some X-Wings. And you got Jabba. Just like a cool little, just like a little teacup that for show. That came from the Kotobukiya store. There's a lot of really unique stuff out there when it comes to merchandise that you don't see here. You know, like fandom is just on a different level to the point where like the merch is just different. You just see like the designs on shirts are a lot cooler. They're a lot less, you know, here graphic tees are just kind of like, you go to Target and that's what a graphic tee is. There, the designs are crazy and they have these like very unique items like that little cup and stuff like that. And, you know, the branded cookies, like, you know, it's just cool. And then picked up these figure arts Anakin Skywalker. You can see that. So these are cool. I like these. There's a whole line of them. I only got Anakin from the Ahsoka show and Luke. There's a whole line and they all look really nice. But they're not cheap, you know, and honestly, these are cool. And I collect mostly 6 scale figures if I collect figures. But I just thought these were kind of unique enough. And I figured having father and son next to each other, you know, I'll put them out with their lightsabers and stuff would be cool. But they're a little pricey for what they are, you know, and listen, they have a lot of detail. You can swap the faces. You can do it. They're very, very detailed for what they are, but I don't know. They're a little pricey, you know. I don't know if it's not something that I would continue collecting, and they don't really fit into my collection as a whole. But to have 2, you know, kind of unique ones, Anakin and Luke, I mean, there's like a 40% higher chance of me buying it if it's Anakin. So, got those. Okay. This is still outside the convention. Inside the convention, I only picked up a few things, believe it or not. Outside the convention, nice big one from Toy Sapiens. Got the Hot Toys Darth Maul hologram. I think this is sold out on Sideshow and most of the sites in the US. Or I think it's waitlisted. I think it's waitlisted on Sideshow. So when I saw it in person at Toy Sapiens, they have an awesome Hot Toys display. I had to pick it up. It doesn't do much, you know. It doesn't do anything. It just lights up. So it is cheaper than most Hot Toys are, but it looks really, really cool when it's displayed, and I'll show it off when I unbox it. But pick that up at Toy Sapiens. Now, the con. No, I got one more thing before the con. I got really tired of carrying around my backpack, and I was walking through the Skytree Mall. I saw this little Star Wars fanny pack made by the Manhattan Project. Manhattan Project. Yeah, I guess it's Manhattan Portage Project. I don't know. It doesn't say project. But these were exclusive to Japan. No, I didn't wear it around my waist like in the 80s. I wore it across my chest, so I was cool doing it. But This was super cool, super convenient. I ditched my backpack the minute I picked this up. Like everything I needed just fit in here. Passport fit in here. Cash fit in here. Battery charger, fit in here. For charging on the go. Sunglasses. Everything you needed. Open it up. It says Star Wars, but plenty of room here. And then the front just had like my passport and cash and stuff like that. But um, this got used throughout. This got carried all through Tokyo once I picked this up. So loved that. All right. Then we get to the show. I'm gonna start with the smaller stuff and then make my way up to the bigger stuff. So I broke this out of its packaging and wore it, but I got one of the Roosevelt exclusive shirts. So I got the Chewy Zen Chewy. So it's got Chewy with some porgs sitting there. I think it's got like a sitting under like a tree. You see like Mount Fuji in the background or something. But yeah, not a huge porg guy, but it's Chewy. It's Chewy chillin'. So I had to pick it up, and I broke it right out of the package there at Celebration. Wore it on day 3, I think. That was their, I think, Friday exclusive, so you can only get it at Celebration. And I'm a huge Roosevelt's fan. I love their shirts. I love their sweatshirts. Everything they make is awesome. And then I picked up one of the Saturday exclusives, which was Roosevelt's just makes these like button-down shirts that they make Disney, they make Marvel, they make Star Wars, anything with a fandom, they make it. So then I picked up this one, which had Luke and Vader on from Empire, kind of fighting. Just kind of like cool, kind of gaudy designs. And I really like their stuff. They're really, really comfortable. They're not cheap, but they're really comfortable, and people tend to like them. I get a lot of compliments when I wear that stuff. So, all right. Then I got these 2 awesome posters that I already hung them up today because they were rolled and I was worried about them getting some memory, which they did. So they're already up on the wall. I'm going to show those to you now. So these are the pieces, guys. I'm doing the best I can with my phone here. These 2 pieces were made by Jason Palmer. Had to get Mr. and Mrs. Skywalker. See the detail here. These are the last 2 they had in this size. So you got Anakin here on the left, Japan, Celebration Japan 2025, and then you got Mrs. Skywalker over here, Attack of the Clones, over here on the right side. These are like 2 of the favorite things I picked up while I was over there, and this guy does awesome work. Again, Jason Palmer. He did the mural for Celebration Chicago. Does just really nice photorealistic stuff, and yeah, I'm really, really happy with these. Okay. Now, last but not least, like I said, I didn't get that much when I was at the con. Now that's surprising. I'll talk about that in my experience video. Talk about why. I'll save it for the next video. I'm gonna do my experience as Star Wars Celebration Japan. I'll talk a lot about it, but the few things I got were the Celebration Grail pieces. For most people, there was one Grail piece that I was not concerned with from a different company. That would have been the Hasbro Ronin Jedi that from the Visions show. You guys, if you've listened to the podcast, you know I'm not a Visions guy. I'm not an anime guy really. So while it looks cool, I wanted really nothing to do with it, and I'm glad I didn't because there was a lot of drama with that. I'll talk about it, but didn't pick up that. But the other Grail pieces were I got the life-size Grogu hot toy, straight from the hot toy store, straight from the booth. This thing is massive. Well, the box is massive. Life-size Grogu is not very massive, but I'm gonna be unboxing this in the next couple days, and I'll do a video on that because this is gonna be awesome. Comes with like a satchel that the scout troopers carry him around in, and obviously he's a hot toy, so you can pose him in whatever pose you on and all that cool stuff. That's one. That was a Celebration pre-sale, so it will become available to the public, I believe, but you can only get it right now at Star Wars Celebration when you were there. So if you weren't at Celebration, it's not online. I don't know when it's going online. I'm pretty sure it is, but I think not for a while. I'm not sure when. But if you were at Celebration, you could buy it. So got that. Next. Now the last two things are two things that people went crazy for. Probably the highest demand item at Star Wars Celebration. I had to do things I'm not proud of to get it, but I got them. First one, Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper by Hot Toys, Star Wars Japan exclusive. So this is it's a Stormtrooper that has cherry blossom petals all over him. And it comes with like this little kimono. I'm pretty sure this is the one that comes with a kimono. So this is limited to, I think, 1,000 pieces or 1,500 pieces, which is not a lot. It might sound like a lot, but that's not a lot, and that's not a lot at a convention. The experience that I have to go through to get this, I will tell you in my experiences video. But super happy about this. Sold out day one. Sold out halfway through day one. There are a lot of people very upset that did not get this figure. But I got him, and it comes with this awesome thing in the back. It should come with this awesome thing that says Star Wars Celebration Japan. I haven't opened it yet, so I'm hoping it should be. All the ones that came from Celebration should have that. This will be released in another limited quantity from certain Japanese retailers, but not with the kimono and not with the backdrop that says Star Wars Celebration Japan. So any of the ones that we picked up at Star Wars Celebration Japan should have the backdrop that says it and the kimono. And like, to me, this piece was what it just wrapped up Star Wars Celebration in Japan in a nutshell. Like, this piece just says that. If I brought nothing else back, this would have been like the material possession that tied back to that memory. So super happy to pick up the cherry blossom version of the Stormtrooper from Hot Toys. And then last, cherry blossom Stormtrooper is probably the number one for everybody. That was probably the most sought out thing there. But there was one thing that came very, very, very close. But for me, it outranks the Star Wars Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper. And that is the Hot Toys Dark Side Sith Apprentice Darth Vader. So this thing was announced 1 week before Celebration started. A week before Celebration started, this thing was announced. And the likeness, I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm not doing it now, but I'm going to do an unboxing the next day. It'll probably get recorded tomorrow. This thing, the likeness to Hayden Christensen is insane. Absolutely insane. Like, I've wanted an Anakin hot toy for so long. And anybody who collects 6-scale figures knows that the last Dark Side Anakin they made was, I think, 2007 and maybe 6. And still online, if you want to buy it online, they don't make it anymore, obviously, is going to be eBay, and it's going to be at least $600 if it's complete and open, probably $600. And I just never brought myself to doing it. I've come close many times, and they just released Now, what's special about this, before I continue, this is a rooted hair version, right? So most Hot Toys have just sculpted hair, plastic hair, right? This has rooted hair. So they call this an artisan edition. And Hot Toys just this past year released regular Anakin artisan edition, limited to 3,000 pieces. Okay. Couldn't get it. I tried. It was a mess getting onto Sideshow's website. We got put in a queue. virtual queue, and then we all got scrambled in that queue, even though, I was on right at the time we were supposed to be on, and I was within the first, I think, 1,000 people, and then all of a sudden I was number 6,000 something, and I knew I was not getting it because there was only 3,000. It became a super high demand figure. They're selling on eBay for $1,200 now. That version. A week before Celebration, they drop this bad boy. So this is not end of episode 3 Dark Side Anakin. I mean, it is, but it's kind of a concept because his eyes are a little redder and he's got the red lightsaber instead of the blue. So some people are saying that it's like the Ahsoka version where she has the vision of him. And some people are saying that it's kind of like the what if version. Like, what if he didn't end up in the suit? And what if he just went on to become a Sith, right? And that's the version. Well, I mean, those two things are the same. So what Ahsoka sees in the world between worlds is the same as a what if. It is a what if. So, this, like the cherry blossom, like, I probably would have been more upset if I didn't get this. If I didn't get this, I would have been freaking out. This was limited to 1,500. People were running to the Hot Toys booth to get this. And I took a chance. I took a wild chance that I regretted taking in lieu of getting this. And I still ended up getting it. And I'll tell the story in my other video. But this is it for me. This is the piece that, coming away from Star Wars Celebration, that I'm so happy with. I don't even know what's on the. Oh, I'm not doing it. I'll do it tomorrow. You'll get that in another video. Get the unboxing in another video, and I'll set up some poses with them. But that's it. That's everything I picked up from Star Wars Celebration. If you guys were there, let me know that you were there. Let me know if you got any of this stuff. If you got the Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper, let me know. If you got Anakin, let me know. If you didn't, share your experience. It was probably similar to my experience, even though I got it, because it was a total shit show trying to get into that Hot Toys store. We all know. But yeah, drop it in the chat. What did you pick up any of this stuff? What did you get that was unique? And like and subscribe for some more videos. We're going to have a bunch of stuff coming up. I'm going to be doing unboxings of all this stuff. I'm going to be doing my experience at Star Wars Celebration that I'm about to record. So that'll be out. We have Andor coming out tonight. So I'll be talking about Andor each week as that releases. And we have May the 4th coming up. And Tales of the Underworld coming up. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening right now in Star Wars. So I'm not going to be going anywhere for a while on this channel. So hit the subscribe button so that you keep up with it. And I will see you on the next one.